So this is the second video covering section 2.9. Let's jump to page 138. So on page 138, you see there's a text box or a definition. It says the slope-intercept form. All right, so you've probably seen equations written in this form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the equation y equals mx plus b is the equation of any line that has a slope of m and a y-intercept of b. So just to be clear, right, your y-intercept is the b and your slope is the m, okay? And if you're using function notation, instead of y, you'll write f of x equals mx plus b, okay? So to really write any equation in slope-intercept form, all we really need to know is just the slope and the y-intercept, and we can write our equation. So if we go down to example 4, I'm going to erase the answer, so pretend you didn't see this. And I could just give you a table, and a good test question or a quiz question would be, can you write the equation of the line given the data in the table, okay? So let's go give this a try. I'm thinking, all right, so we know the equation of any line is y equals mx plus b. So step 1, we want to find b, which is equal to the y-intercept. I'm just going to abbreviate and write y-int. So b and the y-intercept are the same thing, and it's always going to be 0, comma, I'll just put question mark, right? Or you could say 0, comma, b. So in this case, when x is 0, my y is -1, so the intercept would be 0, comma, -1. So the -1 is what I would put in here for b, okay? The next thing we need to do, step 2, is find the slope. Find slope. And you remember we can do that by using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'll pick any 2 points. I'll use these 2 points. So I'm going to write -1 minus 3 over 0 minus 1, which is -4 over -1, which is +4. Okay, so my slope, or my m, is the 4. So I can write y equals 4x minus 1, right? Because my b was -1. And this is the equation of a line that's represented by this table, right? So if we were to plot points from this table and connect the points, we get a line that follows this equation, okay? So let's jump to page 140 to try some practice problems. Here we go. Let's see. It says, find the slope and y-intercept for each table or graph, then write the equation of each line. So this is a good practice problem. If you look at, let's just do one of each, one table, one graph. So for the table, remember, step 1 is to find the y-intercept. So my b, right, because remember the equation is going to be y equals mx plus b. So the b is always going to be 0, comma something, right? So when x is 0, my y is 3. So you can write 0, comma 3, but really for the equation, you're just going to write b equals 3, okay? And maybe I'll just circle that. And then we know my slope, my m, is that y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? So remember, this is an x and a y, right? And I just need to pick another x and a y, x, y. So I'm going to write 2 minus 3 over 10 minus 0. I get -1 over 10. So it looks like my slope is -1 over 10. So I'm going to write equals m, and I'll circle that. And now when we put this all into the equation, y equals mx plus b, you're left with y equals, my m was negative 1 over 10 x, and my b was 3. So that's the equation of the line that's represented by that table. So now let's try to find the slope and the y-intercept so we can write the equation of the line looking at a graph. Right, so remember, y equals mx plus b. So looking at this graph, we need to find m and b. B is where the line crosses the y-axis. So that's happening at 0, 2. So my b is going to be equal to 2. Okay, so I'll write 2 here. And my m is the rise over run. So if I have 2 points that are on a corner, right, I can use any corner point. Let's see, I think this is another one. So how many units do I go up? I rise 1, 2 units, so that's plus 2. And then I run, it looks like 1, 2 units. So my rise is 2 over 2, which equals 1, right? That's my slope is 1. I could have also went down 2 units, negative 2, and to the left 2 units, negative 2, and I would end up with negative 2 over negative 2, which is still positive 1. So my m equals 1. So I know my slope, I know my y-intercept, so I can write y equals 1x plus 2, but normally you wouldn't write 1x, right? You would just write y equals x plus 2. And that's the equation of this line. Okay, so we were able to find the y-intercept and the slope just by looking at the graph. I hope that's helpful. Thank you for watching.